Did y'all feel that earthquake? No, that wasn't tectonic plates shifting. That was the sound of Mama Jones' open palm colliding with Chrissy's face in a courtroom so tense. Even the judge ducked for cover. Yes, you heard that right. Jim Jones' mother just laid hands on Chrissy in front of lawyers, witnesses, and security cameras and baby. The slap was so loud it echoed through hip-hop history like a Dipset beat drop. But what could drive a Harlem matriarch to deliver a full-on reality TV smackdown under oath? Well, let's just say Camron finally unloaded his digital arsenal. And the Chrissy files are leaking harder than a Love and Hip Hop reunion with no NDA. We're talking voice memos, shadow deals, double-crossing, and secrets that could shake the very foundation of the diplomat's dynasty. And now, the courtroom's been turned into a battlefield. The internet's on fire. And Chrissy's red bottoms ain't fast enough to outrun the fallout. So the million-dollar question is, what's on those tapes that turned a courtroom into a war zone? And why does Jim Jones look like a ghost in his own scandal? Buckle up, because what you're about to hear isn't just messy. It's nuclear. So let's rewind the tape literally. Because before the slap echoed through the courtroom, before the USB made its dramatic debut, and way before Camron threw gasoline on this already blazing inferno, this entire scandal had been simmering like grease on high heat, and now, boiling over, and nobody's walking away clean. This wasn't just a spat between a rapper's mother and his longtime fiancé. This was a televised implosion of loyalty, power, and secrets too ugly for even the messiest VH1 reunion special. One slap, one USB, and one leaked tape just blew up. Harlem's most private drama in front of the entire world. It all started when Jim Jones' son landed himself in the headlines for allegedly assaulting Camron. Now, that alone would have been enough to get the blog spinning, but Cam, being Cam, didn't let the ink dry before he fired off his own smoke. No names, no faces. Just 3 words on Instagram that set the streets ablaze. Check your girl. Along with a blurry screenshot of what looked like a voice note, Chrissy's name right there. Plain as day. With an audio file attached. It was quiet. And it wasn't. The timeline went from 0 to flames in 30 seconds. Twitter erupted. The blogs got messy. Reddit was already dissecting audio. And in classic Dipset fashion, chaos walked right through the front door. People started whispering. Was Chrissy cheating? Was she leaking info? Was she the reason Cam knew Dipset business before Jim did? Suddenly, the narrative twisted into something way deeper than relationship drama. This wasn't about romance. This was espionage in designer, heels, and just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, the court date hit. A routine appearance, supposedly for Jim's son's case. That's all it was meant to be, until Chrissy showed up in head tuto black like she was headed to a mafia funeral. And Mama Jones rolled in behind her like she was ready to bury someone alive. Witnesses say the tension in the room was beyond thick. It's toxic. Chrissy sat down with a smug look and a Birkin bag that looked too full for comfort. Mama Jones refused to even glance in her direction. And Jim? Nowhere to be seen. Just ghost. Not in the courtroom, not in the press, not even on Instagram where he normally posts 3 times before noon. But what nobody expected was what happened the moment Camron's tapes were brought up by the prosecution. 1 minute they were discussing timelines, the next, Mama Jones stood up, looked Chrissy dead in the eye, and let loose with a slap so loud it echoed. We're talking open palm, full arm extension, no hesitation. Security froze. The judge slammed the gavel like he was trying to wake up the dead. The courtroom went into full lockdown. Chrissy didn't flinch. Her face turned red, her jaw tightened, but she didn't move. Instead, she calmly reached into that overstuffed Birkin and pulled out a USB stick. Yes, a flash drive. Like it was a magic wand in the middle of war. Witnesses say she held it up, like evidence in a murder trial, and whispered something to her lawyer. Whatever was on that USB, it had her walking like she held the winning card. Because while Cam might have started the fire, Chrissy came ready to scorch the earth. Sources say that USB allegedly contained surveillance footage, phone recordings, and financial documents dating back years. It's not just Chrissy defending herself. No, she came to drag too. Word is, the footage doesn't just clear her name, but throws Mama Jones under a fleet of metaphorical buses. We're talking alleged money laundering, ghost accounts, and possibly even manipulation of Jim's public image for personal gain. If the leaks are real, then Mama Jones might not be the righteous matriarch she pretends to be, but a behind-the-scenes operator, playing chess with her son's legacy like it's her own empire. Court was immediately recessed. Security escorted. Both women out while the press outside scrambled to figure out what the hell just happened. Fans were screaming. One woman fainted after hearing Chrissy yell, "You think you're the queen? You've built your throne on lies." That moment. It was captured by 3 different camera angles and already turned into a GIF before court resumed. Inside sources say even the judge was rattled. One courtroom staffer allegedly said it was like watching a Greek tragedy unfold. The gods wore lace fronts and Louboutins. But here's the part that really got people talking. Just hours after the courtroom slapfest, Camron, again, from halfway across the world, posts another gem to Instagram. This time, time-stamped video of Chrissy crying in a hotel room. It's 2 weeks before Jim's son allegedly attacked Cam. The caption, "Truth always comes out." Even when they try to slap it away, cold, calculated, and a direct hit to whatever defense Chrissy was about to build, fans lost their minds. Was this revenge? A setup? Had Cam been sitting on this? Arsenal just waiting for the perfect moment to let it explode. Now, while the internet was trying to piece together this sequence of betrayal, Mama Jones went completely silent. Not a selfie, not a rant, not even a cryptic Facebook status. Radio silence. And if you know anything about Mama Jones, you know. That silence means one of 2 things. Either she's plotting something big, or she's about to get hit with something bigger. Because the last time she went this quiet, she ended up in the hospital with stress after the Dipset reunion fell apart. And fans, they're suspicious. Some think she's building a legal team. Others say she's readying a defamation suit. But the most unhinged theory, that she's cutting a reality TV deal to tell her side of the story on her own terms. Meanwhile, Chrissy isn't playing defense. She's firing back in full PR armor. She posted a black screen with white text. That read, "I don't owe the truth to anyone who made a career off my silence." No caption, no tag, just vibes. And suddenly, the narrative started to shift again. Was Chrissy the victim of years of manipulation? Was Mama Jones the real mastermind? Or was this all just a tangled web of fake loyalty, generational curses, and unspoken war? Things got even uglier when an anonymous source, claiming to be a former Dipset bodyguard, came forward, saying Chrissy had been the go-between for years. According to this source, she wasn't just Jim's girl, she was the liaison. She set up meetings, passed envelopes, managed favors, and made things move when egos got too big to fit in the same room. And when Jim and Cam had their legendary falling out, guess who allegedly kept lines open on both sides? Chrissy. The source claims she was the real reason Dipset didn't implode sooner. And now that everything is unraveling, her hands are all over the wreckage. And let's not even get started on Jim Jones. Because while the world is burning, this man is off-grid, like he's in witness protection. His son is in court. His mother is throwing hands. His fiancée is leaking files. And Jimmy, nowhere to be found. Rumor has it he's holed up in Miami, allegedly filming a docu-series or planning a telomore. But fans aren't buying it. One tweet said, "Jim Jones hiding like he ain't. Got the lead role in this Harlem soap opera?" And honestly, they're not wrong. But nothing and I mean nothing, prepared fans for what came next. Just as people were settling into the idea that this was all smoke and mirrors, a new Twitter account popped up. Anonymous, no bio, no followers, just one tweet. A link to the first leaked clip from Chrissy's USB. And baby, it wasn't just speculation anymore. The footage allegedly shows Mama Jones handing off a sealed envelope to a known Dipset associate in a warehouse in Jersey City. Time-stamped just 2 days before the alleged attack on Cam. That's when everything turned from messy to potentially criminal. The streets were already buzzing, but that warehouse footage sent shockwaves straight through Harlem's foundation. People weren't just talking, they were investigating. Screenshots of the Dipset associate's face were being compared to old mugshots, blogs were digging up rap sheet receipts, YouTubers were doing frame-by-frame breakdowns, like they were analyzing JFK footage. And what made the whole thing even more sinister? That same Dipset associate reportedly had a long history of intimidation tactics. This was previously linked to some shady record label disputes, and wait for it, was allegedly Mama Jones, ex from back in the early 2000s. Yeah, let that marinate. So now, the question on everybody's mind was the attack on Camron some spontaneous act of loyalty by Jim's son? Or was it something deeper? Something calculated? Maybe even orchestrated? Because if that envelope in the warehouse was what people think it was, instructions, hush money, or worse, then we're not talking about messy drama anymore. We're talking premeditated street politics dressed up in courtroom suits. And if Chrissy had that footage in her possession all along, it means she's been sitting on the ace of spades. Watching everyone else play checkers. Camron, meanwhile, is still overseas, sipping tea in the desert like a Bond villain watching his enemies self-destruct. He posted a video riding camels, grinning at the camera with the caption, "Let 'em fight. I'm somewhere peaceful." And the audacity, impeccable. The timing, chef's kiss. But while Cam's out there enjoying his luxury villain arc, Chrissy's USB is unleashing hell back home. Because the warehouse footage was just the appetizer. Another file leaked audio only, allegedly featuring a heated argument between Jim Jones and his mother. The topic, dirty money, laundering, and Chrissy. Fans went full CSI. TikTok voice analysts were comparing breathing patterns and syllable stress to old Love and Hip Hop episodes, trying to confirm if the male voice was actually Jim. The general consensus, that's him. And he did not sound calm. In the clip, he reportedly accuses Mama Jones of using his name to funnel money through fake real estate deals. And at one point, he allegedly says, "You think you can scare my girl, but you're the one hiding skeletons." Phew! Now, if that line doesn't scream generational drama, I don't know what does. And as if things weren't already spiraling, rumors started swirling that VH1 producers had been sitting on hours of unseen footage from past seasons' footage that allegedly shows Mama Jones planting seeds of doubt, manipulating narratives, and possibly even threatening cast members off camera. Insiders claim Chrissy and Cam had tried to buy the rights to that footage years ago, but VH1 refused, citing legal risks and network image. Now, those same producers are reportedly in panic mode, trying to suppress the new USB files and avoid a PR disaster. Good luck with that, because once the internet gets a hold of a scandal this juicy, it's not letting go. Mama Jones, for her part, remains radio silent. Not a peep. And that's got people even more on edge. Because when she's loud, she's dangerous, but when she's quiet, that's when the storm's about to hit. Some say she's preparing a lawsuit. Others think she's been advised to stay quiet by her lawyers. But the most dramatic theory is that she's already signed a production deal for a tell-all documentary titled Mother of the Mob, The Truth About Chrissy. And with a name like that, you already know Netflix is probably throwing money at her faster than? Jim's fans are throwing shade at his disappearance. But Chrissy isn't slowing down either. Hours after the second audio leak hit Twitter, she posted another cryptic message: "When you let a mother's lies become your legacy." "Don't be shocked when it eats you alive." That caption alone had comment sections in a frenzy. Some fans praised her for standing up after years of being painted the villain. Either way, the one thing nobody can deny, Chrissy came to court with the firepower. And she's just getting started. Let's talk about the legal side because things are shifting fast. Sources close to the court reveal that Chrissy's legal team has filed a formal complaint, not just about the slap, but accusing Mama Jones of witness intimidation, emotional harassment, and get this, emotional terrorism. That's right, they're calling her behavior psychological warfare. That phrase alone had Twitter spawning memes, mock interviews, and even a fake trailer for Law & Order reality unit. But in the courtroom, the tension was far from funny. When court reconvened, the vibe was straight up hostile. The judge had to remind the audience that this wasn't an episode of television, but honestly, it might as well have been. Mama Jones allegedly muttered under her breath, "She lucky it was just a slap." That line, it made the courtroom gasp. Security was already on edge. The prosecutor asked for order. The stenographer stopped typing. Everyone knew this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And then just when you thought you'd seen every twist, Camron's legal team walked in unannounced, unexpected, and fully prepared. They presented what they called extended and uncut evidence. Apparently, those original tapes that shook the internet. That was just the teaser. The real material. It had names, it had conversations, and it had voices that made the courtroom stop breathing. One of those voices was allegedly Mona Scott. Yes, the mastermind behind Love and Pip Hop. The tape suggested that Chrissy and Mona had allegedly been working together to frame Mama Jones as mentally unstable to push her off the show and rebrand Chrissy as the mature, misunderstood Queen of Harlem. One quote reportedly captured on the tape said, "We need younger drama. She's old news." That line alone had fans ready to riot. The courtroom turned into a war zone. Mama Jones supporters stood up mid-hearing. Some booed. Some yelled. The judge ordered half the courtroom cleared immediately. Protesters were already outside with signs reading, "Respect the OGs," and enlarged stills of Chrissy, allegedly laughing after the slap. Whether or not the images were real didn't matter. The internet ran with it, and the damage was already done. Then came the final twist of the day. A surprise witness appeared remotely via video call, with voice distortion and an alias. A former VH1 producer claiming to have worked on early seasons. This anonymous whistleblower claimed that not only did Chrissy offer hush money to a camera operator to bury behind-the-scenes footage that would have cleared Mama Jones' name, but that she also allegedly threatened staff to protect her image. According to them, Chrissy said, "No one makes me look crazy on national TV unless I say so." The courtroom went still. Even the judge looked like he forgot how to blink. Chrissy turned pale. Her lawyers started whispering furiously. The prosecution requested an immediate recess to review the claims. Meanwhile, fans outside were already live streaming the chaos. TMZ posted aerial drone shots of the courthouse. Instagram lives were running 24/7, like it was Super Bowl Sunday. And all anyone could say was, if this was just day 2, what on earth is going to happen next? The internet lit up with a single line. Jim Jones, finally breaking his silence, posted one cryptic sentence on Instagram. "I told y'all stop playing with my moms." No photo, no caption. Just that. It racked up 1 million likes in under an hour. Fans were split. Some took it as support for Mama Jones. Others thought it was a warning to Chrissy. But everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't just personal. Anymore, it was a full-blown war. And Chrissy didn't show up the next day. Her lawyers claimed medical exhaustion, but insiders say she simply couldn't face another round of humiliation. Paparazzi caught her slipping out the back of the courthouse, ducking under a hoodie, security flanking both sides. CMZ's headlines said it all: when you played dirty. And the dirt comes back to bury you. But Mama Jones? She was glowing. filing her nails in the hallway like she was at a spa. When asked by reporters how she felt about everything coming out in court, she smiled and said, "I ain't even opened my mouth yet." By the time the courtroom door swung open for the next hearing, the energy outside felt like the red carpet of an awards show mixed with a protest rally and just a sprinkle of full-blown riot. Reporters, influencers, street bloggers even. 2 ex-reality stars showed up just to observe. And let's be clear, this wasn't just a court case anymore. This was an event, an expose, a televised implosion of a Harlem empire unraveling thread by thread, secret by secret, slap by slap. Inside, the atmosphere was so thick you could cut it with Mama Jones press-on nails. The judge had already requested additional security. Metal detectors, media bans, none of it mattered. Because the moment court began, Camron's legal team dropped what can only be described as the nuclear bomb of receipts. They handed over a full, unedited tape, longer, clearer, and raw. This wasn't just about Chrissy whispering sweet nothings to an alleged side dude. No. This was a strategy session on tape. Voices allegedly belonging to Chrissy, Mona Scott, and an unidentified third party some fans are now calling the industry mole. The content: a plot to systematically edge Mama Jones out of all future media deals, including a rumored VH1 spin-off and branded merchandise. One line reportedly says, "She's dead weight. We're building a modern empire, not a retirement plan." Ooh. And just like that, Harlem's temperature dropped 10 degrees. Mama Jones didn't flinch. Sis already had her lip gloss poppin' and a camera-ready smirk like she'd been waiting for the moment to drop her bombshell. And drop it, she did. Her team submitted a counterclaim backed by newly unearthed bank records, wire transfers, and, wait for it, screenshots of text messages between Chrissy and a luxury car broker in Miami. The implication? Alleged misuse of Jim's money to fund a private travel agenda with a mystery man who most definitely wasn't Jim. And that man, later identified as a known nightlife promoter banned from multiple casinos for shady dealings and last seen on Chrissy's Instagram 3 years ago before being scrubbed clean. Now the court wasn't even trying to keep it classy. Audible gasps. Stenographer who had to pause typing because she couldn't believe what she was hearing. And when a clip played of Mama Jones yelling, "I told y'all that girl ain't," right? From an old Facebook Live, the courtroom erupted. They had to take another recess just to let the air settle. Meanwhile, the streets were in full commentary mode. One Harlem preacher even posted a sermon titled, "When the Devil Wears Designer." TikTokers were doing reenactments of the courtroom scenes. A barbershop in Brooklyn made a mural of Mama Jones mid-slap with the caption, "She did what needed to be done," and merch flying off the shelves. T-shirts that read USB Queen and mugs that said "Emotional Terrorist in Charge" were popping up like wildfire. This wasn't just a legal mess anymore, it was a cultural moment. And where was Jim? Still silent, still ghost, still dodging accountability like it owed him child support. Rumors started swirling that he'd been offered a sit-down on the Breakfast Club but backed out at the last minute. Some said he was hiding in Miami. Others claimed he was in therapy. A few even speculated he was secretly filming his own documentary behind everyone's back, a tell-all about loyalty, betrayal, and how the streets raised him better than reality TV ever could. But until he speaks, the narrative belongs to the loudest one in the room, and right now, Mama Jones. But let's not forget Chrissy's ace, the USB, because even though the footage she leaked already flipped the narrative once, word on the street is she's still holding onto a second folder labeled "For Jimmy Only." Theories exploded. Some say it's love letters. Others think it's more financial dirt. But the wildest claim? That it contains footage of a secret meeting between Jim, Cam, and Mona, planning to frame Chrissy as unstable to boost ratings and spin her into the next season's villain. That would flip this whole thing upside down and drag Jim back into the fire he's been dodging. Things only got messier when VH1 broke its silence with a bland corporate PR statement that basically said, "We support all our cast and condemn violence." Cute, but the streets weren't buying it, especially when an anonymous VH1 staffer leaked an email chain allegedly discussing how to frame Mama Jones' slap as a passionate outburst from a misunderstood matriarch. They were already scripting the reunion before the court verdict dropped. Back in court, a new bombshell dropped. Remember that anonymous witness? The former VH1 producer. They came back, this time with visual evidence, a grainy backstage clip showing Chrissy allegedly screaming at a production assistant. Delete that footage or you'll never work in this industry again. Now, whether it holds up legally is still up for debate, but socially, it detonated. And the judge, he'd had enough. He announced a full retrial, new jury, extended hearings, forensic analysis of all footage. And yes, subpoenas for all parties involved, including Mona Scott, VH1 execs, and even the Dipset associate caught on warehouse footage. The courtroom exploded. Mama Jones smiled, sipped water, and whispered to her lawyer, "I told you, baby, I'm just getting warmed up." Outside, protest signs had now become banners. Street poets were rapping about legacy and betrayal. Even the NYPD posted a Twitter thread reminding folks not to block traffic while following courtroom drama, like it's Game of Thrones. And all the while, Camron, the puppet master, posted another video from Dubai, this time laughing in a private pool, smoking a cigar and saying, "Some legacies are built. Some fall apart on camera. Mine, untouchable." Then came the twist nobody saw coming, a leak, but this time not from Chrissy or Camron, from someone inside Jim's own camp. A recording of Jim talking to his manager, allegedly saying, "At this point, I might need to walk away from both of them. My brand can't take this heat." That single sentence broke hearts across Harlem. Fans who stood by Jimmy through music, through fights, through reality chaos, were now questioning everything. Is Jim finally done playing the peacemaker? Or was he never trying to fix this in the first place? Chrissy, still silent. Mama Jones, louder than ever. Camron, celebrating like he'd just dropped a platinum record. And VH1, reportedly in crisis meetings as sponsors start pulling back. One beauty brand quietly removed Chrissy from a campaign. A liquor company postponed a deal with Jim until further notice, and the whispers that love and hip-hop, Harlem, is officially on pause until legal matters are resolved. But what no one expected was Mama Jones' final move of the week. An Instagram Live, full beat, champagne glass, single sentence before logging off. "They made me the villain. I showed I'm the final boss. Period, end, scene." Now fans are left with a burning question. Is this the end of Chrissy's reign? Or will she bounce back, drop the For Jimmy Only folder, and flip the script one more time? Is Jim going to step up and clear the air, or keep hiding while his legacy turns to ash in front of millions? And what about Camron? Was he the chaos agent Harlem never asked for but always needed? One thing's for sure, this wasn't just a slap. This was the kind of explosion that takes out careers, reputations, and possibly an entire show franchise. The next court date is set. The evidence is mounting, and the streets, they're ready. So buckle up, because baby, this ain't just drama anymore. This is generational warfare in designer shoes and mink lashes and Harlem. It may never recover or recover.